All right, welcome back. Anyway, so we have taking shifts and sharing chores in a marriage, in a household. How do you feel about this?
My most interesting topic. Okay.
This is your interesting topic.
Yeah, because chores. I feel like chores. Believe it or not, I feel like maybe not in Africa. But abroad, like in the United States, in the UK, wherever you are in the Western world, causes some kind of conflict in marriage.
Is it the chores?
I think it's more of empathy, lack of empathy.
Okay.
From your partner.
Because the chores is.
It's just chores, right? You can even pay to get that done, but you know.
This is where people get employed and say, so you can't wash your whole plate. It was never about plates. But continue, baby.
Yeah. It's deeper than that. Yeah. And the reason why I say that is I also have a personal, encounter concerning chores. When we got married, I was the dutiful wife, clean, do this.
You were strong and black.
I was strong.
And black.
I was so strong.
Strong and black.
I've been doing everything, washing the tub, doing this, doing that. Everything has to be clean. By the way, that doesn't even have anything to do with you, because growing up with my mom is OCD. Right. Everything has to be sparkling clean. Right. So I think I got a little bit of that from her. The need to.
That's so nice. It's so sweet.
Everything.
It has nothing to do with me.
No, it's now that I know that. Before I didn't know that at all. It was such a struggle for me. So it came to a point where, and I have an issue. So
sorry, babe. So that made you, the fact that she was so OCD and you didn't touch stuff in the kitchen. Is that what you're saying?
No, like with my mom, everything has to be sparkling clean. Like,
okay.
I have to make sure everything is clean.
Did you inherit that? You want things to be a certain way.
Yeah, I want things to be a certain way. I have to, as a woman, it has to be clean. It has to be this. It has to be that. Now the part we forget is that if your house is clean, somebody has to dirty it up. That's where the issue comes in.
Yes, sir.
Like For example, remember when I used to go very early on my morning shift to British Airways?
Yes.
I left my house clean, and then I come back.
Really?
There's stuff all over it.
I've never heard that before.
Oh, you've never. Oh, okay.
Tumi was a baby. What's about?
But he will made some mess as a toddler. He made mess, and I will tell you. I don't know if you remember me saying this to you. Like, baby, this was dirty now. Can you go? And you will like, maybe she be too miloshe. Like, it's not a big deal. And I'm like, well, you gotta teach him to clean. Like,
So indirectly at that time you were trying to tell me I should clean.
No, I'm telling you to.
You were saying teach to me?
Teach to me how to take.
He was how old?
If there's toys around, if you make a mess, then teach him, say clean up time. That's what they do with them.
How old was he?
He was like, I think 3 years old or 4.
And I should teach him to be cleaning water.
Yes, well, you couldn't relate. You're like, what's the big deal? So I will come back from work and then clean all over again. And I remember one time, I was so tired. I was exhausted. I felt like you weren't on the same page with me when it comes to this chores thing. Yeah. And I just busted into tears. I called my dad and I was crying on the phone. And it was like, kilo share. I'm like, I told my dad, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I have to clean, I have to do that. My dad was like, what about your husband? I was like, he doesn't help me with anything. And he was like, did you ask him?
Baba, any wisdom to get
and then it's like a light bulb. It's like a light bulb just flashed in my head. I'm like,
did the light bulb flash? You sure?
I was like, I didn't. And I said I didn't ask him.
Because
and he was like, if you don't ask him, how is he supposed to know you need help?
Wait. Let's slow down. We gotta give my father-in-law the flowers first. Do you know how much wisdom? Do you know how many stupid in-laws don't ask questions that would just judge the spouse without asking further questions? Whatever you download for them is what they just use to judge, and they're ready to fight. You know how many? It's literally like it's a consistent story.
But I feel like that comes in place when that in-law does not really like that person.
No, it's too consistent for you to say that, baby.
Because if that's your child, won't you ask questions?
No. It's too consistent for you to say that.
Really?
This story with the Banj, this Debanj story, Debanj's younger sister story that's going on right now, which I will still react to on Men of Prestige, is this story is everywhere where people just don't they don't have the patience to assess issues. In the corporate world, you have to assess issues. Meaning, whoa, dada, you can look like on the surface. You are my judge. Whoa, dada, yes, on the surface, it seems like you want to defend your own, right? Or judge your own based on what you knew them as when they were young. Because that happens too, right?
That does happen.
No, yeah, I knew they made you mess up because you're judging them. You don't know them in marriage. It's both sides.
Yeah.
It's too consistent. So the fact that he will ask that question is a big deal. Did you ask him?
Oh, and my dad has always been like that. My dad there are ways that he will talk to me that I listen. It just gets my attention, and I think that's why I called him.
Well, thank God for that. But back to Chores and sharing and all this kind of stuff.
I didn't finish my story.
Yeah, go ahead, babe.
So I now when he said, "Did you ask him?" and I said, "No, I didn't." He said, Lola, if you don't ask your husband to help you, he's not gonna know that you need help.
He knew.
Yeah, and he knows that I'm the type that don't communicate. I think he just knows that kind of child he has. And it's like, you have to tell your husband how you feel.
Yeah.
Okay? And that was it. And I think when he told me that, I came to you and I told you, and he said, "Oh, I'm gonna help you with the bathtub, I'm gonna help," you instantly said the things you were gonna help me with.
But it still sounds terrible because it sounds like I'm evil here.
You're not evil. You were just comfortable.
All right, so there's another part of it that I want to shed light on for the ladies. Okay? For the ladies. Your experience are your experience. It's what you remember and it is what it is, right? But I'll give you an example. I just went on a trip for a project. I shared Airbnb with a friend of mine, and it showed, there's always one side that feels like somebody, and I caught myself, like I catch myself fast, like it's a short period of time. I'm probably a little bit too OCD. Maybe you didn't watch the pot. You didn't watch the pot early enough. I'm like, and the moment I was thinking that, you know what he said to me? He said, he now put the sink. I forgot what they call it. The thing with the pipe and the sink that you can put to wash around.
Rinse,
the little pipe. And he said, he said to me that you don't do this. I'm like,
don't even get me started on what you don't do, bro.
I couldn't say one.
Well, that's not real.
Why am I telling you that story?
Wow, that's interesting.
As much as you're seeing on your end that there's always a blind spot.
Right.
As a human being, you can only see so far.
Right.
You see what you see, what you resent, you see, what you don't like, you see. Even what you love, you don't see as much as what you don't like. You see the negative stuff for the most part, because it makes you feel some type of way. This feeling some type of way thing is the devil. It is. And it starts to affect you, and before you know, you're focused on that. And for some of you, I'm gonna have to end that really quickly as soon as let's continue. Let's see. All right, and for some of you, you see what you see, but for everything you see, you're only seeing that view.
Right.
There's something behind you that you can't see, and what you can see may just be how that person's presenting you too, right? But it's true, they may be oblivious too. There's a lot of things they're oblivious things too. There's a lot of things also that they're not oblivious. They just feel entitled. They feel like you're supposed to do that. Those you feel entitled to, you're supposed to, we can check those things and say, no. You guys should make life easier for each other.
Right.
But it's usually this oblivious stuff.
Right.
So you have to open your mouth and communicate.
Yes.
When you mix all of that together, it's a concoction of just evil everywhere. People resenting each other, angry. Mix that with in-law issue. Mix that with actually offending each other. Right? It just gets very bad. And the only way to separate them is Yoruba people say, The only solution is that calm down, ask questions, have a conversation, talk. Conversation mean you also have to put extra attention on listening. Yes, you will talk, but extra attention on listening on both sides. And if everything else fails, I always prefer that the man should be leading all of this, So you don't really get to say, oh no, but she should too. All that is going to destroy more. Right. There's something you can control. You can control the awareness that there's something you can see.
Yes.
right? No matter how angry you are about a situation, you can control that. Allah Yara in brain. There's something you can't see. Talk, have a conversation, and and hopefully you have family like my father-in-law that will tell you and say, "Hey, Shoti, have you asked? Have you done this? Have you done this? Okay, let me have a conversation. Let's help." As opposed to them jumping, especially because they might have their own feeling about you. If they're not able to mix, like he might have his own resentment with me, right? And oftentimes your family will have their own resentment with you. They might say, if they are going to use that to judge my spouse too quickly, you see why there's problems everywhere.
Yes.
So if you have a family they're not common. They're not common. I've seen enough that it's just consistent, and oftentimes, it's just, I think it's something natural. It's terrible for me. It's like I'm giving an excuse for it, but it's consistent.
Terrible. If you have in-laws, I mean, you should, like, what I'm trying to say is, when our kids get married,
right,
we should see our daughter-in-law as our own, and we should see our son-in-law as our own, so that we give them that grace that we give our children. There are things that our children do that we just let it go. We can some people, they know how to go and be choking eye in other people's children's business, but their own is rotten, and I don't like that. Like the grace you give your kids, be able to give it to other children. Period. And the world will be easier to live in, because no one is perfect. Right. So
sharing chores. I think taking shift and sharing chores are often. We'll talk more about it later on.
I think the modern day people have been able to figure it out. Because I don't think I fit in the modern day people.
No, I think
I've heard stuff like that.
I mean, we had the conversation at your brother. I think the modern day people are full of shit.
What?
I'll tell you, because again, they are
fixing
symptoms. If you come to me with this beautiful smile on your face, and you want me to handle something that you normally do, and you say, babe, this is heavy for me, just take over this part, that will work better than a mug face to share. See, I take over everything, right? But you have a mug face, you're so angry, and say we have to share.
So
I would rather take the full thing, but you're smiling at me, you give me good vibes, and I want to, I rather.
You're not forced.
And majority they don't know how to communicate, but they think if they share it to solve their problem, it doesn't solve the problem. Those are symptoms. The deeper issue is learning how to communicate, resolving conflict, understanding this is romantic relationship, meaning there's no 50-50. Sometimes somebody's gonna feel like they're carrying all the weight. As a matter of fact, a lot of time you're gonna carry a lot of the weight, regardless of what side you're on. And there's gonna be different aspects you're gonna carry all the weight. Right? So the only thing that you can do is make the priority here is make people feel secured around you, either your wife or your husband. Manage your expectations. Don't be prideful. If you want something, you talk, you ask, right? And the general vibe is much more important than the particulars. Okay, if we share this 50-50 this way, if we share, like, all that kind of stuff doesn't. And there's a lot of men falling for that. They think it's so
there's this misconception when it comes to the guys that if I pull this part of my weight, at least I will get what I need to get.
So I carry my weight. You should be an adult too. And then they wonder why the wife still doesn't feel good about the relationship. Right?
It feels like what?
She's an adult too. If I take care of my part, you should take care of your part. That's why you're suffering. That's why your marriage is suffering, bro. It's not 50-50. It's not. It will never be 50-50. As a matter of fact, you may be the culprit. 50-50. You may be the one that's carrying no weight, and she's probably suffering.
You could be the dead weight.
The dead weight that everybody is carrying, and you're talking about 50-50. Right? So, and it's the women that sold that to men of modern age. Like if you just help me in the kitchen, it's better. Then it's not better, because I've shared the kitchen with you. But then you're still angry, you're walking around the house, and then the guy is confused. Why? Because you're engaged with the wrong aspect of things. There's something emotional going on, right? And you thought helping share the chores would help. And then some ladies will say, hey, I'll share it first, and I'll figure out at that point. That's why you're suffering too, because you don't know how to express yourself in a healthy way how you feel emotionally. I feel like this weight is too much for me. Then
I need help.
The fact that you came to him, make him feel like a king, make him feel like he's useful. A man needs to feel useful, right? And you see the look on your face and you're vulnerable. You're not doing the assertive because I am a medical doctor / lawyer at the same time. But you're able to compete like with him like your husband. That means with some respect, because if he feels disrespected, nothing good is gonna come out of that too. He will become feminine because he will be trying to express to you that me too, I have emotions. What does that look like? So it's a very, very we need particular stories, specifics, but the truth is that it's helpful to understand that yes, your wife need help.
Especially in the Western world. This is not Nigeria.
Because there's no house help,
maids.
right? But it's also helpful to not attach too much expectations to that solving all of your marital issues, because that may not be the issues. The issues they're usually deeper than just chores. That's the point. Okay. All right. I think that conversation is not over, but I think we're going to continue with it at some point.